Just like clockwork, people, I told you that you were going to see this happen. PlayStation, having money had it Final Fantasy 16, is now launching their own 2022 game in the same launch window as this particular title. In fact, I didn't even have to bother myself. You already knew that in the conversation this was already going to come up. Now, take a look at this chart that was put together by Delta169. And he basically captioned it with, "It's the battle of who can hit 25 concurrent players first." So God of War Ragnarok is now out on PC. Final Fantasy 16 is out. They were basically 2 to 3 days apart in terms of their release. And both games, they're doing meh right now because, when your hype is already gone, it is already gone. There's no way you can expect for players to come to a game that you made them wait for 2 years and then ask them to pay full price. They're going to wait for it to go on a deep sale. And again, it's not like God of War Ragnarok was even that impressive in terms of the main thing that 18 provided, the 2018 version. 2018 version was a new take on things. It gave you a really grounded story. Ragnarok, I thought was a bore fest. I played that game and I've never touched it again. I was like, man, I can't believe I spent money on this game, and I just deleted it once I was done. I didn't bother going to fight all those berserkers and I don't know what the heck else was in that game, bro. I just felt like that game was really bloated for no just cause. And I felt like I was playing Atreus simulator, Atreus of War. Like, yo, if y'all want to make a game on Atreus, make an Atreus game. But that aside, I think it brings it down to the business perspective where PlayStation is basically, continuing to say to these companies, do what I say, not what I do. So Final Fantasy 16 and, the Division, HD games, and all of the games that they brought out have basically not met profitability measures in their own estimation. This is what Square Enix told their shareholders. And now their God of War competitor, or I guess PlayStation, who they gave their game to use to market and sell more consoles, even though, believe you me, this particular Final Fantasy game, guys, the PC version was used to market PlayStation 5's game. Go back and look at the Final Fantasy trailer, and you're going to see that they actually wrote in the beginning, this gameplay is captured using a PC emulating the PS5 or simulating the PS5 experience. So they basically had this game done on the PC. They had their cutscenes and everything done. And then PlayStation, pretty much, I don't know if they paid for the exclusivity or whatever. How do they expect the game to sell? On top of that, the same PlayStation has now come in to drop its own game on PC at the exact same time. Can you imagine the lack of consideration? Because again, they call themselves partners, but they're still competitors at the end of the day. So look at the player base right now. Look at the acceptability rate. Look at the margins. Look at what's going on, and you can tell that players right now are just in a position where it's just one of those things where their interest is already low. Why? There are other games that come out, and I said this to you guys before. They're PlayStation fans. The problem that PlayStation is constantly facing and not mitigating by bringing its games to day one on PC is that it has other games to contend with. Think about a game like Space Marine that just came out. That's a game that is designed for longevity. That's not necessarily designed for being a one and done. However, Final Fantasy 16, having been out for years and everybody's been looking at the game on YouTube and dealing with everything, their interest level is more than likely low. They're just like, well, I guess I can play it when it's on Steam sale for like, $15, $10. Because it's going to get there. I mean, the game is already 2 years old. I guess God of War Ragnarok is already 2 years old. And then in the case of Final Fantasy, over a year old right now, depending on how you look at it. So again, this is something that a lot of people are more than likely paying attention to. A lot of people are more than likely taking into account. And at the end of the day, from a business perspective, it just did not make any sense to me. And it doesn't make any sense for Square Enix. I mean, obviously, they're trying to move away from this. So I guess Square Enix understands the solution to the problem. They move their games to PC day one. They move their games to Xbox day one. They throw away this whole so-called exclusivity thing because it doesn't help their case. They've not been the benefactor of this. They've lost time. They've lost a lot of time in putting their Rebirth game and putting their Final Fantasy VII Remake games on PlayStation. They've basically hemorrhaged their brand from a lot of players that could probably have bought these games on the platforms. Even double dipped. Many of you know that most Xbox players that don't want to get a PlayStation, they have a PC. And they'll buy games across the board if it's a game that they like. They'll buy multiple copies. So they've lost out on all of that. They've lost out on the fanfare. They could have carried them. Fans would have carried them. I'm hearing some PlayStation fans saying, well, it's not about the exclusivity, it's about the quality of the game. But then one of you was telling me the other day that of all the PlayStation games that have come out compared to Xbox's, games, it's about it's about the quality. That's the next video that I'm doing. I saw somebody tell me, well, PlayStation, Xbox may have more games that are coming down the pipeline, but PlayStation has the quality. I'm like, okay, well, let's do a quality check pretty soon, and hopefully we'll be able to do it in another video because I really want to see what is all about this quality that these PlayStation fans are talking about. But I'll let you evaluate and see where all this is, finally going and has come full circle. At the end of the day, this is not stuff that's actually, surprising to me. I've been seeing this stuff. You could have told, though. You didn't have to be a rocket scientist. You could have told that this, thing was coming down the pipeline at the end of the day. Okay. Talk to me in the comment section. Those of you who are looking at this from a business perspective, who want to be as objective as possible, who want the gaming industry to thrive and be free from the throes of PlayStation's money hiding and nasty practices. Thanks again. Peace out.